Hello guys, this is Danny from Deep South Homestead. We're out here this morning. Some of our fingerling potatoes have started dying. Now fingerlings are a little bit different than your regular Irish potatoes. They come in a lot earlier, and if you don't get them, they will sprout immediately. So you can see here, here's one of our plants right here that has died. You can see a little bit of it left. There's another one down here that has died. So we need to get these out of here. That tells me that they're at the stage to be dug, some of these are. And I like to use this kind of fork here because it's got big enough gaps in it so that we don't maybe stab a potato. Because these do not produce the amount of potatoes that the other ones do. And you see these, they don't get to be real big potatoes, but the taste is just awesome. Okay, we've done this partial row right here, this little short piece. You don't get many out of these like we said, but you can see in the bucket there. You know, that's why you have to plant so many fingerlings. Now they will get bigger than that under, you know, maybe ideal situations, but we had a flash flood come through after we planted these and we lost a lot of them. But we're still tagging along here, trying to finish out this part here in this ground. You can see you have to be just kind of baby them a little bit to get to them. They're in there. You know, you get a little handful under each one of them. I call them my little gold nuggets. We've raised these here for years and we literally love them. We can them when we get enough of them because they are just awesome and to eat fried in a skillet. We've got some of our fingerlings in our black pots that we planted. We're going to see how they do versus what was in the ground in the garden. You see here, looks like the ones in the pots, the potatoes are somewhat a little bit bigger. Nice looking potatoes, you know, good eating potatoes. So it looks like maybe the containers for these might not be a bad way to go as far as if you're looking for size, because we can control the environment in a pot here a lot better than we can out there in the garden. And the ground is a lot softer too, so maybe this is a way to go with these fingerling potatoes is in the containers. Nice looking potatoes on these. Just these are nice. Okay guys, we some of our pots didn't do as well as others. I mean, like where we have just one green bean in this and over to the side, we planted a tomato plant in it because we know that these are only going to last another couple of weeks, but the tomato plant will go all pretty much most of the summer. We've also done the same thing with some bell peppers. Some of these pots that we didn't get anything to come up in, or they came up and the insects eat them off, we went ahead and planted some peppers in those. We're trying to get other things going in our pots as companion plants along with these so we don't lose any time. Okay guys, not a bad morning. I'm fixing to head to the hill to check out our Irish potatoes and see if the ants has killed any more of them, but so far we did a little bit better on the green beans this time. We almost filled the bucket completely full, so we'll be getting several jars, pint jars this year. Me and one of us switching over to pints because a pint seems to work better for me and her than a quart. We don't have to eat green beans for a week at a time when we open a quart. So, and the fingerlings, well, we may have enough there to can a few jars, so we're going to see if we can't get that taken care of too. On our homestead here this year, we are noticing some vast changes that we're having to make. Normally, and what I'm talking about is in digging potatoes, normally we can pick a day and when our plants all die simultaneously and we go and we dig them all at one time and bring them in, scatter them out. This year is different than any year I've seen. This year my plants are dying one at a time, and it's because of weather and fire ants. Now we go from, and when I say that, what I'm trying to trying to say is we go from like 88 to 89 degrees during the day. The next morning may be 49 or 50. And this is a roller coaster we've been on this year. Now, what's happening is the extreme heat during the day, the ground, we went through 3 weeks of no rain here. The past 3 weeks has been without any rain. We finally got a shower this week. And what's happening is the ants are looking for moisture, the fire ants. The fire ants are coming up, actually during the day when the ground heats up, the fire ants are coming up because they're needing moisture, and they're eating off our potato plants about an inch under the soil. And when it gets cold, they go back down in the ground, and the next day it warms back up. They keep coming. It's just like a cycle that's going on this year. So this year we're having to actually dig our potatoes as the plants die, which is extremely frustrating because I got to go to the field every day, walk that entire field, and look for which plants have died where I can dig the potatoes so that I don't lose them, because if I leave the potatoes in there and wait for them to all die, the ants will just move to the potatoes and start eating them because they have moisture in them. So we're wanting to get these potatoes done so we can move sweet potatoes in their place, and it's kind of a little bit aggravating because we're not able to dig the potatoes, reset the rows, and put new sweet potato draws in. So it's kind of throwing us back this year. But that's the thing about homesteading, is your homestead has got to be changing with the weather and pestilences. I'm going to call fire ants a pestilence because that's what they are. And where this year is going to be a really weird year for us. We're just hoping that we get half the harvest that we need, because it looks like this year our harvest is not going to be where we need it to be at on everything that we've planted so far. So we're having just problems with everything because of weather and insects. But these are a few of our Irish potatoes right here that we dug this morning because the fire ants had got to them. You know, and they're okay. There's some nice potatoes in it. You know, you got a few of them that's nice. But we still have a lot like these that never got a chance to grow because the fire ants are killing the plants off. Now, it's a little bit early for us this year to have to do this, but when the plants die, you have no choice. But what we'll do is these kind of like this right here, we'll just be canning them whole so we don't lose them. We've learned if we go ahead and can them that way, they'll last for years in the cellar. If you try to leave them whole and just eat them when you get time, they shrivel up and die. Yeah, you know, and you just lose it. So this year we're going to be doing the canning of the small potatoes. That's our fingerlings down there you see. That's what we dug this morning out of the plants on the fingerlings that had died, which is going to be enough to get a little. When we probably do one more digging, we'll probably do a canning. We'll wash them and can them, because we always like to let the peeling set on those a little bit and cure before we actually can them. If you try to wash them when they're new, the peeling comes off of them. And we like to leave the peeling on ours because that's where the nutritional value is right underneath the peelings. Okay, this is our garden in the new ground. Never been gardened here, so this is some ground we cleared up and just started planting in. Maybe show y'all a little bit about it if it's not too much in the... These are some of our tomato plants here. We have growing in here. We have this big beautiful tomato plant here, probably 2.5 feet tall. They're all planted the same exact time now. This plant here, 2.5 feet tall. This plant maybe 6 or 7 inches. This one here is probably 10 or 12 inches. And then right next to it, look what happens. They just die. You know, that's one thing. On a homestead, there's no answers for that. The plant looks perfectly fine. Yesterday it was up looking good. Come over here this morning, it's just wilted and dead. And then over here, of course, you can look down through here. We have several more tomato plants and on down through there. They are all, and get up here I can show you. They're all blooming, you know. So they're doing all right. Okay, guys, this is a field of my Danny corn. It has been a disaster this year. We got the corn planted early, got it right on time, planted on the day according to the almanac. Right after we got it planted, maybe 3 or 4 days later, we got a 3-inch rain in 1 hour. And it literally packed the ground so hard and washed everything so bad that very little of the corn even came up. As you can see, the taller stalks you see is the corn that actually came up. Where you see the thinner parts at, that's where I had to go back and replant all of it again when the ground dried up where I could get into it. Now you can see down in that part right there, we had a lot more of that came up and made it. Because that, I don't know what the difference was, but that, a lot of it actually, a lot of that actually was able to come up. Wanda and I just got through refertilizing, putting ammonia to it, and replowing it, hoping that we are able to get it in time this year, because it's already kind of late for field corn here. We're just hoping that we're able to get it up enough that we can get corn out of it this year, because if we don't, that's going to really be a bummer for our homestead here, because we use this cornmeal to make everything with. We make our own corn flour, our own grits. We make all that stuff for breakfast, for making cornbread, for battering things. Because I'm got a gluten issue, I can't eat other corn, but I can eat this Danny corn for some reason. So this is just an overlook of our cornfield. Show y'all once again, not everything works perfect on a homestead.